Speaking of, now that there's a chance that abortion rights might be overturned for half the country, guess what? This was Drew Holdman. He caught this. Drew Holden. Remember what they used to say about Joe Rogan? This is from Motherboard. This is from Vice. Vice. They're really edgy news guys that are also in bed with the CIA, but they'd want to pretend like they're the edgy guys. They hired a Nanjir Hahandes, right? The gray Fonzie. It says Rogan has recovered from COVID-19 and used his first show back to spread misinformation about the horse deworming drug he took.
I harp on this every time, but again, prescribed to him by a doctor. He wasn't doing crazy things. The doctor said you should take this.
Prescribed
and
to
it got better, by the way.
Yeah, prescribed to him by a doctor. And by the way, that's propaganda. That's Vice lying to you, trying to make you think that the drug he took was a horse dewormer, which it isn't. Primarily a horse dewormer. It's primarily a human medicine, been prescribed billions of times. It's a miracle drug, ivermectin. It's a miracle drug. It's on the WHO list of essential medicines. That's how important of a medicine ivermectin is. But they call it a horse deworming drug because Big Pharma pays their bills and told them to lie about ivermectin. And so they did, ubiquitously throughout the whole corporate news media. And they even got morons on YouTube to lie about it too. So that's Motherboard, which is Vice, right? So now here's another. This is after the abortion rights might be taken away. They're now advocating for you to take a horse drug. The same people who ridiculed Joe Rogan for taking a human drug and pretending it was a horse drug are now telling you to take a real horse drug. It's called, what is that called? Wow. Misoprostol is relatively easy to acquire from veterinary sources. Since in addition to medically inducing abortions, it's also used to treat ulcers in horses.
You know what this whole thing teaches me? That humans and horses have a lot of physiology in common.
That's right. Isn't that amazing? Is the FDA approving this? No.
And also from a vet, not from a doctor.
Not from a doctor.
Rogan, from a fucking... sorry.
I got my ivermectin from the Walgreens. I got it prescribed by my doctor that I've known for 20 years. These people are telling you that's a bad idea to take a drug that's been prescribed by your doctor, but you should go to a veterinary store and get horse pills.
Look at the pictures of the pills. Look how gigantic those are. Like,
I know.
They show ivermectin is clearly small human-sized pills.
Do it yourself
like biscuits.
Do it yourself medicines. Do it yourself medicine collectives are preparing for the horrifying prospect that Roe versus Wade will be overturned. So there they are. So I like this. This is great. There is no treatment for the virus. Joe Rogan took horse dewormer. You're not a horse. Stop eating horse paste. Horse medication is safe and effective for abortion.
Did they, in the dictionary, when they were changing the definitions of, anti-vax and vaccine, and they also, like, is hypocrite a different thing now? Like, it's one of those words that means a different thing?
Yeah, like Kyle Kalinske invented a whole new definition of corrupt to suit his political agenda. You mean, is there a new definition of hypocrite? Because everyone...
Yeah, where it's just, like, it means, like, everybody but me. Like, I don't just, like, how do you not have any self-awareness whatsoever?
I don't know.
This is so complete. The hypocrisy is so, like,
100% complete. It's like it comes complete full. So Joe Rogan now under 100,000% vindicated.
It's like mystical how complete the circle is.
Well, watch this. Here's one more meme somebody put together. Horse dewormer, horse ulcer meds. Yeah, horse dewormer bad. Horse ulcer meds. Yes.
We got a great healthcare system here, don't we?
And I want to remind everybody of this. The people who are the heads of the FDA go straight to work for the pharmaceutical companies. So this is Scott Gottlieb. He's the former FDA commissioner in charge of regulating Pfizer. On the right is a current member of the board of Pfizer. Same guy. He used to be their regulator. Then they gave him friggin' millions of dollars. Here's another guy. Stephen Hahn. On the left is the former FDA commissioner in charge of regulating Moderna. On the right is the current chief medical officer of Flagship Pioneering, the venture capital firm behind Moderna. Same guy. Here's another one. James Smith. On the left is the CEO of Reuters, in charge of informing people about the COVID-19 vaccines. On the right is a current member of the board of directors of Pfizer. So this guy is the board of directors of Reuters.
He didn't leave. He's on both, isn't he?
I think he's on both. I don't
he's
think
not even.
he you know what? He still works for Pfizer. I mean, he still works for Reuters, but he's not anymore the CEO of Reuters. He is the CEO of their charity, I think. Still.
Oh, I see.
Still. So here's one more. Anthony Fauci. On the left is the NIAID director under the National Institutes of Health. On the right is the funder of bioweapons research and gain-of-function bat coronavirus at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. That he lied about. He lied about doing that. So I just want to remind everybody that we're living in a 100% corrupt culture, society, and our government is 100% bought and sold already. And so if you didn't have a critique of this bullshit COVID narrative where we had to lock down, you have 2-year-olds have to wear masks, you have to get 4 boosters for something that is now presenting itself as a cold in most people, you're a chump. You're a chump. And what does this tell me? What does this tell me? When they do that you're a chump. You're a willing chump, and you will willingly eat propaganda. I had people in comedy say, why is Jimmy Dore taking that horse dewormer? Because you're a moron. That's why. I'm taking a essential medicine prescribed by my doctor, who's a leading researcher in treating COVID. Unlike you, who's a comedian.
Oh, I thought because you needed an abortion.
So, and to see Kurt, I'm sure you saw it too, but I saw comedians shame people on stage, shame people for asking questions about COVID or not trusting the government around vaccines. They shamed people for getting...
Yeah, Ronnie Chang's new special. His first one I liked a lot, and I watched it. I'm like, it's obnoxious what he does in the beginning of it. I couldn't watch the rest of it. I got too upset.
Who?
Ronnie Chang.
I don't know who that is. I'm out of touch.
His first special is great. The second one, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, that's comedians manufacturing consent for the status quo, which, guess what, is the opposite of comedy. That's called propaganda. That's not comedy. When you're shaming people for getting informed, oh, what are you going to do your own research? What are you going to do? Shame people for reading next? That's how dumb you are. That's how much propaganda you ingest. And it's amazing to see comedians ingest propaganda. They're doing it over Ukraine. They did it over COVID. They did it over the vaccines. They got no fucking skepticism whatsoever. It's amazing.
It's the verbatim repeating.
Verbatim.
Stupid, like freedom of speech isn't freedom of reach. That's a kind of stupid. But they repeat the dumbest lines that I wouldn't have even known unless I was working on your show that I have to see.
Yeah,
you're repeating this word for word.
I had a conversation with a comedian who used to have his own television show, and he was trying to shame me for taking ivermectin, and he was like, "It doesn't treat COVID." I go, "How the fuck do you know?" And secondly, my doctor, who's a leading researcher on COVID, prescribed it for me, and he goes, yeah, it's to treat parasites. I go, so I'm supposed to listen to you, a guy who didn't fucking graduate college and is a comedian, over my fucking doctor who's a leading researcher and is leading a team of people? I'm supposed to listen to what you have to say about ivermectin?
Wait, are you telling me you met Joy Behar?
So, it's amazing to see a lot of my friends who are comedians, and now I have to call them former comedians because that's not comedy. That's propaganda. When you go up and you don't poke holes in the status quo, you shame people for not following the status quo. That's the opposite of comedy, fuckface. We're doing live stand-up shows in Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, Las Vegas, all over the country. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for tickets. And single tickets now available at all venues. So if you tried to buy one before and you couldn't, single tickets are now available. Plus, while you're at jimmydorecomedy.com, why don't you become a premium member? Sign up to our mailing list so when they cancel us, we can still stay in touch.